Hi, I'm David Miller. I'm with McCulloch and Miller. I've been a lawyer for 14 years, and I've done everything from contract negotiation to complex litigation to estate planning and probate. And today I want to take some time and go through what I hope is a first of a series of videos where we kind of react to funny stories and funny videos, but do what lawyers call issue spotting, right? Which is going through these videos and identifying various legal issues that can arise. It's a very common practice for lawyers to do. Today, we're looking at a channel called Treasure Hunting with Jebus. He has a bunch of videos. The link to his channel in this video is in the description, and they're very entertaining. But this one turned out to be particularly funny. I've always enjoyed these types of kind of storage unit type of shows. There used to be a show called Storage Wars, which was brainless and funny. It turned out to be completely scripted, which surprised nobody, but they're still really entertaining. And I don't know how real this is or not, but it's a great video. It's a fun watch, but it also presents a lot of different legal issues. And so I think we dive in here and see what comes out of it.
This right here is the most expensive storage unit in the entire country right now. Put price highest to low. It is #1 in Orange, Virginia. It's got 5 seconds left. We're the high bid at $5,260. Are we gonna win it for that? It just ended, didn't it?
No way.
Let's go to the bank. Leaving the bank now. All these boys better do good work. You guys better go out there and make us more. We have finally made it. Here is the unit. Nearly $6,000 after fees and taxes. Let's get in there and see if it was all worth it. Are you excited?
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is this guy spent almost $5,800 on buying this unit. And what's important to know about this is an abandoned unit where the rental fee probably wasn't paid. And that could be from somebody forgot about it, or more likely they passed away or got sick and the family members didn't know it was there. And so what will happen is then the storage facility will basically say, hey, the rent on this hasn't been paid for however many months, and we're going to put it up for auction, and then people will go and bid on that. And what's important about that is whatever is in this unit is going to go to Mr. Jebus, and all the money that he is spending is going to go to the storage facility, but the actual owner of the unit gets none of that cash, and they basically lose everything that is in the unit.
You're nervous about this one.
More nervous than excited. Honestly, it's a lot of money.
Let's just...
Yeah, and so she's worried about it being a lot of money, but if I'm on the other side of that, this is a big hit to the owner's estate. I mean, right off the bat, forget what's inside the unit. That's $6,000 that really should have gone to whoever's owner of the unit was. It should have gone to his estate, right? Assuming that he's passed away or sick, and that's why this got foreclosed on. But yeah, this is a big hit to whoever owned this unit.
Start pulling stuff out. Let's not pretend like you don't know why I didn't buy this. This is a Winchester air rifle, model 1400 CS. I could tell it was an air rifle because I could see that there wasn't no place for the magazine at the bottom. Breaks down and it goes in there, but that's okay. Those are commonly used for hunting small things like squirrels and stuff like that. This is actually a discontinued model, so the value is actually...
Okay, so this unit, and I think what you're going to see throughout this whole unit, because I actually have looked at it a little bit before, but this unit's all about a storage locker full of guns. So we got guns here, although this is an air rifle, so I don't know if that actually be considered a firearm for kind of regulatory ATF type purposes.
$300. But I didn't even see this one in the picture. What's this guy? That doesn't look like an air rifle.
This one was hidden.
Oh no, this is let's get the magazine out. That's a 22 LR right there. Make sure that the magazine's clear. Make sure the rifle's empty. Yeah, that is let's see, Marlin model XT-22, 22 LR.
Nice.
That is what I'm talking about with how you start a unit. 2 right off the bat. This beautiful Marlin 22 is currently selling for about $300 pre-owned.
Okay, so now we got like a couple of firearms here, and so that's going to trigger a whole bunch of different things from a regulatory standpoint, a common law standpoint. And like the first thing I want to bring out is what he did when he picked out that gun. He actually did the right thing, right? He took the magazine out, checked to see if it was loaded, checked the chamber. It wasn't loaded, right? If he had not done that, then you're getting into issues of, okay, well, what happened if it had been loaded and the gun went off and like hit somebody or busted some property? Then you're getting to issues of negligence, right? So what he did was actually he acted with proper care, and so that's a very good thing to do.
Where do we go from here? Look at this beautiful hand truck. What about the Harley Davidson truck? Or helmet? You know, second thoughts, probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Lights are a real thing. But should I use this hand truck to get out this fridge?
Why not? That's what it's there for, right?
Maybe. By the way, this door is broken, so if it falls and crushes me, I love you all, and I don't regret spending this kind of money to bring you content.
Okay, so I thought that was kind of funny. He spent all this money on this unit, and the door is broken, right? And he says, "Oh, if it crushes me, that's bad." Well, it's funny if it actually did fall and crush him, then there actually would be liability on behalf of the premises, right? So if you're a premises and you have invitees, people you are inviting onto your property, especially for like commercial purposes, you have a duty to make sure that your facilities are safe, right? So if that actually did fall and crush him, that would be a pretty good lawsuit. That's why you see actually a lot of kind of slip and fall type lawyers out there, specifically looking for those types of actions.
You know what? Putting that there and bringing this out the old-fashioned way.
It's like so light.
Just by moving it. What's in there? Nothing?
No.
But it's kind of dirty. But really, you can clean up. That's an easy $30, $40 right there. Look what you...
Okay, this isn't a legal issue, but I gotta say, I might be a little bit of a snob, but that is a dirty old fridge that probably done broke. He's gonna get $30 or $40 for it. You got to find some real desperate college kid out there, because that does not look like it's worth $40.
You can see from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gun cases, including 2 of the hard plastic ones. So you know what? I have a good feeling about this.
Okay, so he's pointing out now that there are lots of guns, right? And since I'm a lawyer, I would be remiss not to mention the Second Amendment, right? And the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. It specifically states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of people to keep and bear arms will not be infringed, right? And so that's where we get our rights to buy and own, possess guns. Now, this is not a political, I'm just kind of reacting thing, but I can tell you that the Second Amendment is the source of a lot of political debate, a lot of litigation, a lot of legal scholarship as to exactly the extent and reach of the Second Amendment and how far different states can go to regulate that right to bear arms. You know, what rules of the road can we put in place to make sure that the wrong people don't get guns, or that they transport those guns, safely, or do we have assault weapons? Those are the debates that are going on with the Second Amendment. But generally, the Second Amendment is where you get the right to bear arms.
Let's get into the basket. What does that say? Close. That's not what we want to see. In the basket. Oh! A man my size doesn't leave the ground very often, so when I do, you know it's something good. That's why we buy units. Are they real though? Hold on, let's see. That's a 380. That's real. Thunder 380. Make sure it's clean. Oh no, see? That's why I treat every gun like it's loaded.
Yes.
Treat them all like they're loaded. There, that one's clean, and we're gonna leave it open. This beautiful.
Okay, so again, we saw what he did. Like the first thing he did is see these guns, right? And he empties out the magazine. Boom, it's loaded, right? And and then you think about, okay, well, what happens if that gun had gone off, right? What are kind of the legal implications of that? Well, first is if he was being careless, right? He wasn't checking the chamber. He wasn't doing stuff. He was waving it around and jumping around with the guns, and it went off. Then certainly he could be held liable for kind of the negligence in holding and carrying and handling that weapon. But additionally, you might think, okay, well, here we have a commercial premises and they're allowing these dangerous weapons to be stored in a dangerous manner inside their storage unit and on their facilities. And so you think, well, maybe there might be some duty of the storage facility to ensure that whatever comes into the unit is safe and is stored safely so that it doesn't affect other patrons. There's also, a question of, someone who put these guns in that unit in this manner, right? Loaded, primed, potentially ready to fire, in basically an unsafe method, right? And so would the owner of the unit, or at least if he passed away, his estate, then be liable for what would happen if someone was injured or killed because one of his firearms went off because of the way he stored it, right? So those are the kind of the things that we would think about as an attorney of not just, hey, is somebody liable because the gun went off, but it's who are all the different people that are liable, what are their various duties to the people around them, and can you make a cause of action on that? Now, likewise, if Mr. Jebus here was actually, picked up that gun and shot himself and injured himself, then you'd have a question of, okay, well, does he might have a very good cause of action against the facility, and again, potentially maybe the owner of the facility, although there's some pretty good defenses on that. But if Mr. Jebus was, he picked up the gun and started jumping around and was playing with it, was so excited because he's making all this money, and then he injured himself when he said, well, he wasn't handling it safely and that's what we call contributory negligence, right? He's as equally or more at fault for himself being injured than, say, the facility was. That would be different than if he just picked up the gun and automatically went off in his hand before he had a chance to check it and make sure it was safe. Then maybe that is just liability on the facility. So these are kind of the interesting kind of fact patterns we have when we look at liability and kind of injury.
Bursa Thunder chambered in 380 is currently selling for $220 pre-owned. Let's try this little guy here. Again, hollow points. Treat every gun like it's loaded, guys. Ooh, look,
see?
That had one in the chamber.
Right
see?
in the chamber.
We're gonna.
That could have been really bad. That's exactly what we're talking about. That could have very easily gone off and hit some bystander, hit the person that's filming, or even accidentally shot himself. So be careful when you're handling firearms.
Leave them open. This little guy is a Taurus PT 738, and unfortunately, he's only selling for about $150, so pretty cheap gun. But yeah, treat everyone like it's a. Oh my god!
Is there more?
Oh.
You saw I didn't. What is it?
Look at that.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Holy. It's a 45 Colt.
Oh my
right
god.
Here. That's fully, look at that.
Yep.
It is now.
Okay, so, whoever owned this unit obviously loved guns, but also he was not very careful. I could just look at that gun. I'm not a gun expert at all, or a firearms expert, but it's a revolver. It's pretty easy to see, hey, the hammer was back and it was loaded again. That could have been a very, very dangerous situation. And again, when you talk about liability, you kind of look at the facts and circumstances. If you were in a trial and you're trying to determine if, say, the owner was potentially liable, one gun out of 10 that had was loaded might be a one-off issue, but if you had multiple guns that were primed, ready to fire, and were loaded, and that's really indicating a pattern of behavior in terms of carelessness.
Been emptied, and check that beauty out. The 45 Colt. Right there. That is beautiful. I've never owned one of these. This is a beautiful HWM Colt 45, and the last sold one was $400, which looks a lot rustier than ours, so I'm going to guess ours is in the $450 to $500 range. You know the bad thing about spending $6K on this unit? Is I'm not going to make a lot of money, because I'm going to keep a lot of these. Let's pull up this next guy here. Again, don't touch the trigger, because it's probably loaded. This one's not. This one is unloaded. Heritage MFG Miami.
Okay, so we're like, almost 4 minutes into this video, and we've already seen kind of firearm after firearm after firearm, right? And we've talked about the Second Amendment and how people have the right to bear arms, but there are restrictions on that, right? So, for instance, it's a crime punishable by up to a year in prison for a felon to possess a firearm, right? So I think Mr. Jebus, he seems to know what he's doing and seems to have experience with this, so I doubt that's an issue for him. But if he had, in fact, committed a felony, just the process of doing this video could give rise to some sort of a criminal status. Likewise, there are restrictions on how old you have to be when you get a gun. You have to be at least kind of 18 to 21, depending on the state and the type of gun, the type of weapons, right? From an estate planning perspective, that's why a lot of people with kind of large collections of guns actually use what we call a gun trust, right? Which is rather than just have a collection of guns and you're leaving it to your grandchildren, instead you leave it to them in a gun trust. So if they are disqualified because of some sort of substance abuse or they're underage, then those guns can still be held for their benefit, but they're kept in trust and kept safely in that trust so that the people that you want to benefit from that collection can do so, but in a legal manner.
22 LR Heritage Rough Rider. Here's an up-close shot of the Heritage Rough Rider 22 LR. Because it's a 22, I expected it to be cheap, and it's only selling for about 120 bucks. That's the beauty of a pistol. Now, let's see what's further in there. Ew, dust mites. Well, it looks like microfiber towels. This right here is silverware, actually. It's like a grill set. It is. Yeah. Grill set. And this guy here, more of a grill set. Oh.
Yeah, grills and guns. You gotta love America.
Always keep your grill sets and guns together. This is America, after all. Still feeling nervous now?
Less nervous, but still, we have to find a lot of guns in here to make up that 6K.
Listen to this beautiful sound. You know what that is? That is a mega huge, gigantic gun safe. Oh, my heart right now. Plus, look at this. That's not empty. That's not empty, man. We have a whole armory in here right now. I'm about to just start peeing, but let's just start pulling stuff back out. Let's start pulling stuff back out. No, I just want to pull this closed tote, and unless they're wearing weighted clothes, there's not clothes in there. But first, let's see what's in the poster tubes. How do we buy the most expensive storage unit in the country?
Okay, so, he's already said it, right? He's basically got a whole armory in here, and based on the way this video is going, it says it's like 43 minutes long. We're almost 5 minutes into it, and they found all these guns. It probably is an armory, right? So if I'm a lawyer, kind of the first thing that I'm thinking of is, okay, how do I sell these guns, and how do I transport them, right? And I think it's important to know that, if you want to be in... any individual has the right to buy arms and keep them for themselves and keep a collection of guns, right? But if you're going to be in the business of buying and sell guns, that requires a special federal license, right? Not only does it require a federal license, but you also have to report the sale of those guns. And so, there's a statute that actually governs this and what the licensee would be required to do and who is required to get that license. And, I won't read the whole thing, but it basically says that, it doesn't apply to somebody that, inherits guns and they want to liquidate it. That wouldn't be in the business of selling guns, right? It specifically says, hey, if you're liquidating a hobby or you're accumulating them for personal use, then, the federal licensing statute's not going to apply to you. But in this case, I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, he could say, hey, I just came across these guns and now I've got a collection. I want to liquidate it. So I'm not needing to be federally licensed. But at the same time, he bought this unit. He bought this unit with the expectation that he saw at least 1 or 2 guns in there, and he's buying it for profit, right? So I don't think this is necessarily him collecting them as a hobby. This is a business enterprise, right? And so the point is, if he's going to be in the business of buying storage units that have guns and then liquidating those guns, he's probably going to need a federal license. More than that, he's also probably going to have to report all of the sales when he actually does liquidate the guns in this storage locker. The next question is, how do you transport this, right? So you got to be really careful when you're going from, I don't know where he's from or if this locker room is in the same state as where he lives, but if he has to, transport these weapons, especially if he has to transport them across state lines, he's got to be really cognizant of what are the laws in each jurisdiction that he's going through.
Sure, we get a broken door. I think I'm going to sue.
That's okay.
This is a saw? Oh, something for a guitar, look. Music people,
a neck.
Hit me up. Oh, it's a neck? I don't know anything
something like
about
that.
that kind of stuff.
I don't know what it said. I saw something in.
This is even heavier, but it might be the same thing. Is it? No.
Tools?
An Omen Tools.
OEM.
There it is. Not sure what it is, but let's pull out the 800-pound clothing tote.
We did learn
on the tailgate.
that clothes are heavy.
There's a difference between heavy clothes and...
Oh my God, okay. Oh my God, okay, I can tell.
There's a lawsuit for the bump on the head right there,
No,
although he doesn't seem to be too harmed by it, so I don't know that was a very good lawsuit.
All right.
To say I'm excited is the understatement of the year. Let's go in there. Oh! This is the moment I've been waiting for since I bought storage units. Oh my God. Are these all... Look at this. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm waiting for. I know they're in there somewhere. But look at that. That's a load. These are all fully loaded mags. Look.
Okay, so now we're talking about lots of guns and ammo, right? And again, there's restrictions on transporting this, although if you're going to transport ammunition across state lines, there are restrictions and when you have to report it and get licensing. But I think those only kick in when you're like transporting like 75,000 to 100,000 rounds, like really kind of mass commercial use. And well, this guy's obviously getting ready for a war. It looks like I don't think there's any way that there's 75 or 100,000 rounds in here.
1, 2, 3, 4 fully loaded magazines right there. Just with the price of ammo, that's a lot of money on its own. What else do we, oh my gosh, a bandolier, 450 Marlin is what the ammo says. Just to put this into perspective, this ammo is very hard to find, and that's why it's out of stock most places. One box of 20 rounds sells for over $70, and this bandolier has a lot more than that on it. They were prepared for the end of the world, and I don't know if I blame them too much.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
What is it?
Yeah, this guy was definitely getting ready for something, and he's spending a whole lot of money to fill up this unit. And again, it's really sad. He spends all this money and all the time and effort of collecting this, and now because he didn't properly plan, he didn't have an estate plan, he didn't have instructions to the people around him and his beneficiaries. Oh, by the way, there's this storage unit that's filled with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of goods. It's all just going to get lost, and I think that really is kind of sad.
Oh yes. What are these shells? These are Dangerous Game Series, 20 cartridges. It doesn't specify, oh, there it is, 416 Rem. And another one. These 416 Remington rounds are selling for $120 a box of 20 rounds. Also, keep in mind, when there's ammo shortages and people can't get what they want, they can go for a lot more than retail. There's another big old magazine. This is a semi-auto shotgun. You see that? That's cool. Look, are these all the same type of ammo in here? 20 cartridges for, these are 300 right here. There's a couple of those. These are selling for about $50 a box, so that makes an extra $100.
These are all the same.
These are all the same. Yeah, let's see what that is. 45.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to be going through this, and I mean, he's got tubs and tubs of these things. And so again, when you talk about one of the things I'm concerned about is transporting this, especially if you have to go across state lines. And what's important to actually know about this is, every state might have its own regulations on weapons and ammunition, right? And so here I'm in Texas, we're obviously very, very liberal when it comes to that, and there's very limited restrictions and regulations. Other states like say Illinois or maybe California, they have much stricter gun control laws, right? And so, but what's interesting is there's actually a safe harbor under federal law, which basically says, hey, if you're going from a jurisdiction or a state and the weapons and the ammunition that you're transporting is legal in the state where you start, and you're going to another state and it's legal, that same stuff is legal in the state where you're going to, even if you pass through a state with tighter restrictions, tighter regulations, there actually is a safe harbor for traveling through. Of course, then it becomes a real question of law of, where were you actually intending to go? Are you traveling through, or were you actually kind of stopping there to hunt or to sell something, right? Can get, very fact-based, and it can be a real question, but something to think about if you do ever have to, go on a hunting trip and you're transporting a bunch of stuff. You really do want to think about, okay, is it legal here? Is it legal where I'm going? And are there any states in between where I got to kind of worry about what I'm transporting?
-7 government. Are we supposed to have these?
I've never.
We do now. Inside there were 2 boxes of the 4570 government ammunition, which sells for $50 a box. There's also 6 boxes of the 450 Marlin ammo, which is also selling for $50 a box. Let's see what's in the red squishy bag.
Marble bag.
Just a shirt. Then we got. Ooh. Oh my God!
Look at that.
Nice.
Okay, first of all, look. These are 3 more fully loaded mags. And this is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh my God.
Fully.
Pull it out.
This is cool. I can see myself walking around with this on my chest. This is definitely my kind of Christmas right here. You guys see what I see? That's an NRA bag right there. Let's get that out too. Ugh. Something tells me.
Okay, so if you don't know what the NRA is the National Rifle Association. It's a really big association, lots of members, lots of funding, and it's a really powerful political lobbying group.
I don't know what it is, but I'm getting an odd sensation that whoever owned this unit was a part of the NRA. I don't know what it is, but I'm just getting that sensation. There's that. Let's see what's in the main compartment of the bag. Come on. Open. Ooh, yeah, it's definitely stuff. Earplugs, rifle rest, 0 in your shot. These are Beretta brand eye covers. This another rest. Let's see if there's anything in the front of it. Come on, more. Nope, nothing in the front, but hey, this is good stuff to take to the range ourselves. Do you even notice that these boxes right here, I haven't touched them yet. 12 gauge all day. Let's pull out this little guy first, guys. Well, if you haven't liked the video by now, what are you doing? Go down there and leave it a like right now. This is $6,000 for your entertainment.
Yeah, go check out his video. But if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe on our channel, which is the link down below. It helps me know if anybody has actually any interest in seeing these types of videos. So thank you very much.
Mine. This is
Yeah, so I'm kind of just fast forwarding here because this is kind of one thing after another, just more guns, more guns, more guns, some tools, some other things.
It might be. Anything under it? Whoa. This is, I mean, definitely gun-related stuff. AR-15/M4, strip EULA. Oh, it's a loader. Oh my gosh, there's a black case under there. There's a black case at the bottom. You see what I see?
I do.
With an arrow on it. Well, I wonder what could be in this. Not what I think it is. I'm just kind of sad. Not really. This should have been too crazy to be sad. Ready?
Right.
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's a cleaning kit.
That's nice.
Yeah, so hoping for another gun, just a cleaning kit. But he was actually going through a whole bunch of accessories that you can get for guns. I'm not a firearm expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know that there are, certain jurisdictions that have regulations on certain accessories. So like extended magazines, bump stocks, that sort of thing, right? And some of those regulations might even be called strict liability, right? So if he just has them in his possession, there's really no defense. It can't be like defense like, oh, well, I got it from a storage unit I bought. It's like, no, you should not even have these, right? So you do have to be careful in a situation like this. Like, what are you actually taking possession of? Is there some sort of criminal liability attached to me taking possession of these things or traveling with them or trying to sell them?
Yeah, it's definitely a nice cleaning kit, though, so I thought it was going to be a handgun case, can't lie to you. No, I don't know what that is. Let's open it up. Not opening, that's what it is. Oh.
Yeah, so he keeps on going, and there are just guns after guns, ammunition after ammunition. He goes through a lot of different tools and different things he's pulling out. It's actually quite entertaining to watch.
I just feel it right now. I felt this unit,
He's got a really good energy. He makes it fun. He makes it exciting. So I would go ahead and watch it. But this is kind of more of the same here. Let's see what's going on. Okay.
Almost.
So now he's got the armory. He's got the armory back in his house now. It looks like, and he's breaking it open. And let's see what's actually in this giant gun safe that he's got.
Holy crap.
That looks like a crap ton of ammo, not necessarily guns. Let's see what this is. 270 Winchester, a bunch of that. Look at all these Winchester rounds. Holy crap, that's a lot of them. This box here.
Brand new?
These are 200 rounds. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so he's just pulling out guns. And I said earlier that, I don't think he's going to hit the limits of 75,000 or 100,000 rounds he needs to worry about, but he's definitely got a couple thousands. He's also talked about, like, different types of rounds throughout this video, like hollow points and tracer rounds and kind of military issue rounds. And again, I'm not an expert, but if I were him, I would, before I did anything with this, I would probably want to contact law enforcement and let them know, hey, this is what I've got, and let me know if there's going to be a problem, because it's a lot easier in that sort of situation to ask for permission and kind of head things off before you do something that's illegal, even if it's inadvertent, rather than try and kind of defend yourself after the fact. And so, this is great for him. He's going to make a lot of money, but, he's kind of got a lot of issues that I definitely would want to get clarification on exactly what the rules are before I took any further action.
Ammo. Did I mention it's like 95 degrees out here? I'm hot. To see how much firepower we have all together in one shot, check out this floor right here. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that really is an entire arsenal, right? And I do think that's, while it's really good for him, I do think that's kind of with that and with all the ammunition, I think there's some risks there. He'd really want to be careful that he did not accidentally do something that was illegal. Because if you do, the fines are really heavy, there's potential criminal time. It's not worth the time and the money to deal with it. Better just get some permission up front from law enforcement. But beyond that, it's a fun video. I'm happy for this guy. Check out Treasure Hunting with Jebus, which is where this video came from. But, as an estate planner, it kind of makes me sad, right? Because we see here that this whole thing is worth almost like $25,000. Again, whoever owned this unit put a lot of time and a lot of money into making this collection, and it really is going nowhere. Right, this could have been liquidated to support a charity, or it could have been given to family or his heirs, and instead, it really, for lack of planning, it's going out the door basically to a stranger. And so, the moral of that story is, even if you have nothing but a collection of firearms, it's still probably worthwhile to put an estate plan together. But anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. And I guess beyond that, if you ever find yourself with an arsenal like this, it's probably a good idea to take just a few moments and kind of think like a lawyer before you take your next step.